Hey guys, so I just left Cooper's green room, and it looks like he's almost ready to go. I'm not sure if it's something he ate, or I don't know, maybe he's just really slow, or doesn't care at all about anyone else's schedule. But I've got a day and, oh, there he is. It's great to see you, boss. I was just saying how much I write. Got it. And we're live in 5, 4, 3. It's go time, Arizona.
Welcome in. I'm Cooper. This is the Hometown Arizona Daily Show. I'm here Monday through Friday at noon-ish to break down a different topic. Today we're going to talk about local breweries. From a couple different aspects. We're multi-streaming on, what are we on, Facebook and YouTube and Twitch and Instagram. And later on we'll be over on TikTok if you miss this one or you prefer that platform. It's got a little bit more engagement. But I'll just jump right into it. We're going to talk about local Arizona breweries, microbreweries, nano breweries, and their local impact. The Hometown Arizona show is based off of the platform and website Hometown Hawk, hometownhawk.com. It's a local directory that kind of narrows things down. It's a directory of only locally owned people and businesses and music and events and products and stuff. It's got a catch-all net for local. And all this week we've been breaking down different aspects, different industries. Last week we were looking at different areas. We're still trying to figure out the format, what we want to do, what's working, what feels good. We've done music stores this week. We did music stores, bakeries, coffee shops. Today we'll do brewery. Tomorrow, I think we're going to take a look at the local music scene. But for now, we're just going to jump in and talk about breweries. So there's a certain sound in a local brewery before the doors open. It's not the noise of a crowded tap room yet. It's not the trivia night laughter, the clink of glasses, or the hum of people leaning across tables catching up after work. It's quieter than that. It's the sound of water moving through stainless steel, grain being poured, kegs being shifted, a brewer checking a tank, wiping down a counter, looking at a clipboard and hoping that what they made weeks ago is going to taste exactly the way they imagined it. Because before the first pint ever hits the glass, a local brewery has already taken a gamble. They bought the ingredients, they paid the rent, they waded through the brewing process. They watch the temperature, the timing, the yeast, the recipe, and at the end of all that, they still have to hope people show up. That's the part most of us don't always think about when we walk into a neighborhood brewery. We see the tap handles, the chalkboard menu, the clever beer names, the patio lights. Maybe there's a food truck outside, a band setting up in the corner, or a dog under someone's table. But behind all of that is a local business owner trying to build something that feels bigger than beer. They're trying to create a place. A place where regulars have their favorite stools, where someone celebrates a birthday, a couple meets friends after a long week, where a new resident walks in not knowing anyone. And by the end of the night, they feel a little bit more connected to the town. That's what makes local breweries different. They're not just selling a drink, they're creating a living room for the neighborhood. And that sounds romantic, but it's not easy. A local brewery has to compete with grocery store shelves full of national brands, compete with big restaurant chains, rising costs, changing tastes, permits, distribution challenges, staffing, slow weekdays, and the pressure to constantly come up with something new. One batch misses the mark, that's money sitting in the tank. A slow month and payroll gets tighter. One new development across town and suddenly foot traffic shifts. And yet they keep showing up early. They keep cleaning the lines. They keep experimenting with flavors. They keep naming beers after local landmarks, inside jokes, desert sunsets, hometown memories, and the people who helped them get started. Because for a lot of these owners, this was never about just opening a bar. It was about building something with their own hands, something local, something people could gather around. When you walk into a microbrewery, you're often walking into somebody's risk, somebody's savings, somebody's late nights, early mornings, and long conversations about whether this dream was actually going to work. And the people behind the bar are usually carrying more than a tap list. They're carrying the weight of making a room feel welcoming. Remembering names, explaining the difference between an IPA and a lager without making anyone feel silly. Make sure the regulars feel seen and the new customers feel comfortable. That's a skill by itself. Because a great local brewery doesn't just serve the beer. It doesn't serve just the beer crowd. It becomes a place where people who aren't really beer people still feel like they belong. Maybe they come for the atmosphere. Maybe they come for the food truck, or they come because their friend loves craft beer. Maybe they come because the brewery hosts a fundraiser, a local artist night, a small business mixer, a run club trivia night, or maybe a community event that brings people together. That's where the story gets bigger. Local breweries often become platforms for other local businesses. They bring in the food trucks. They feature local music. They collaborate with nearby restaurants, coffee roasters, farms, artists, makers, nonprofits. One small brewery can create a ripple effect. It can create a ripple effect across an entire local business community. We call that community echo. That pint on the table might have helped pay a musician. That event may have helped rescue a rescue group raise money. That packed patio might have helped a food truck survive another week. That local collaboration beer might have introduced hundreds of people to another small business they never would have found on their own. Because when we talk about supporting local, we're not just talking about making a purchase. We're talking about keeping places alive that give a town its character. A local brewery usually feels like the people who built it. The art on the walls, the names on the menu, the regulars at the bar, the way the staff talks to people, the events they host, the way the community slowly shapes the place, and the place slowly shapes the community right back. So the next time you walk into a local brewery, look at the small moments happening all around. Because for us, it might just be a casual drink after work. But for them, it's the dream they're still trying to keep alive. One batch, one customer, one conversation at a time. That community echo or that ripple effect is real, especially with breweries. Not all local businesses have the same ripple effect. At some level they do, some more than others. Local breweries rarely just one business though standing by itself. It impact ripples outward. It reaches the food truck, like we mentioned, outside on a Friday night, the local musician, the trivia host on Wednesday nights, the artist whose work is on the wall, the screen printer making the t-shirts, charity fundraiser, perhaps taking over a few tables. There's lots of examples. The downtown block party, the run club, the comedy night, small business meetups, regulars who bring their friends and visitors who discover the neighborhood because they followed a good local beer into the room. Talked about that yesterday with strong locally owned coffee shops. It can change an area for sure. Its ripple effect goes into real estate and the neighborhoods around it. We call that the community echo. It's that money that stays closer to home. It's also the culture that gets created when people have a place to gather. Breweries, they may sell beer, but at its best, it gives a town another living room, a place where strangers become regulars and local talent gets a small stage. Other small businesses get pulled into the circle. And where the community gets one more reason to show up for itself. So the impact doesn't end with the last pour. It echoes through the vendors, the music, the events, the friendships, the fundraisers, the neighboring businesses. The beer is the product, but the room is the impact for sure. Arizona has a lot. There's a lot of breweries. Some ones you've probably heard of, the Barrio Brewing Company in Tucson. That's Arizona's oldest. It's the oldest continuously operating brewery. Founded in 1991 under the name Gentle Ben's Brewing Company, and later became the first employee-owned brewery. There's Saddle Mountain Brewing Company in Goodyear that produces the most decorated single beer in Arizona history. Their sweet and malty clandestine Scottish-style ale has won 6 national medals. And won 6 national medals at the Great American Beer Festival, alongside consecutive Arizona Craft Beer Awards. The Oro Brewing Company in downtown Mesa operates on a tiny 3-barrel system, producing just 93 gallons a batch. Despite its extremely small size, it was named the 2022 ACBA Brewery of the Year. The Arizona Craft Beer Awards. You've got the Tombstone Brewing Company that's located just around the corner from the infamous OK Corral. Before opening their second tap room in Phoenix, 60% of their sales came from dedicated fans making 3-hour-plus drives from the valley to try their highly rated hazy IPAs and barrel-aged stouts. That's the Tombstone Brewing Company in Tombstone. Roses by the Stairs Brewing in Phoenix. It's housed in a building that was formerly Eastley's Fun Shop, a beloved costume store that operated for over 70 years. Inside the sustainable farmhouse-inspired brewery, featured chairs built from recycled skateboards and tables from recycled pallets. The Pinnacle Brewing Company in Scottsdale is one of the only breweries in the U.S. that brews Grodziskie. That's a rare Polish smoked wheat lager. The brewmaster, Wyatt Wilson, graduated with a degree in brewmaster and brewery operations in Canada when he was just 21 years old. Ren Sedale, a European-style tap house by Wren House Brewing in Watuki that was built to celebrate traditional beer culture and features 8 specialized Luker side pour faucets, property served German and Czech style beers or lagers. All right, Dark Sky Brewing Company in Flagstaff, well known, they get their name from the city's unique designation as the world's first international dark sky place. You got Slow Body Beer Company in Tucson, focusing entirely on sessionable low ABV beers, the alcohol content, and won GABF silver medal for its PAL American style lager almost immediately after opening in 2024. The OHSO breweries, known for their award-winning Sudoku beer. It's a Japanese-style rice lager, uniquely brewed with lemongrass, fresh ginger, and green tea. Those are just some of the well-known. Different types of breweries. They're nano breweries that operate on they're the really small scale, allows them to constantly rotate their taps and remain agile. Like Oro Brewing Company in Mesa brews on a tiny 3-barrel system we mentioned. There's microbreweries. Now, there's small, locally owned independent breweries. They're like Lazy G Brew House and Slow Body Beer Company. They focus on handcrafted, the small batch beers. Of course, the production facilities and the contract brewing hubs. They're the larger scale brewing breweries equipped with massive infrastructure to handle the high volume production. Headright Brewing Company in Surprise operates out of a 40,000 square foot facility with both a 5-barrel pilot system and a 20-barrel production system, allowing them to brew their own beer as well as contract brew for other startups. It's different types of specialties, like the farmhouse inspired breweries specialize in farmhouse style ales, mixed fermentation brews. They frequently incorporate organic, locally sourced, wild, foraged desert botanicals into their recipes. As seen with the Roses by the Stairs Brewing in Phoenix, as we mentioned. You have specialized lager houses. They grow. That's a growing trend in the United States, or in Arizona. They strictly focus on clean, lower alcohol, technically demanding European lagers and pilsners. The Slow Body Beer Company, the Pinnacle Brewing Company, and the Head Right Brewing Company, they operate under this model. They prioritize crisp, sessionable drinkability, suitable for the hot desert climate. They choose that over the extreme flavor profiles. Of course, you got the different types of places. The brew pubs, it's a combination of a brewery and a traditional restaurant or pub. Establishments like Beaver Street Brewery in Flagstaff. That's Flagstaff's first brew pub. You got Lazy G Brew House, serve comfort food, wood-fired pizza, or a pub fare alongside their handcrafted beers. There's integrated tap room concepts. Moving beyond the beer-only model, these breweries incorporate high-end, chef-driven culinary programs to elevate the guest experience. Of course, you do have some employee-owned breweries. As to preserve their legacy and ensure that their community continually, some breweries transition. They ensure community continuity, continuity. Oh my God. Some breweries transition their corporate structure to be owned entirely by their staff. Barrio Brewing Company in Tucson is notable for becoming Arizona's first employee-owned brewery. Very cool. Arizona did well in the 2025 competitions. Arizona breweries and cideries rebounded significantly by winning 7 total medals at the GABF. This marked a major return to form after the state was completely shut out of the awards in 2024. Big comeback. That was the first time since that happened since 1995. Had a good year. You ever wondered what the ingredients of a Sudoku? That's the OHSO brewery. The Oso Breweries Sudoku that's the Japanese style rice lager. It features a complex profile of non-traditional brewing ingredients. That's the one with the lemongrass and fresh ginger and green tea. That sounds delicate. Question: how does the Arizona Wilderness Brewing Company incorporate sustainability and local agriculture into its business model? Well, it celebrates Arizona's agricultural community by using local grains, malts, and foraged ingredients to create that terroir-driven beers. They also pursue sustainable conservation efforts, including composting and investing in water conservation solutions to protect Arizona's natural resources. The Lazy G Brewhouse location, that brewery is located on the site of a former trailer park that had been in operation since 1945. It features the park, an outdoor area designed to feel like a backyard, It's got fire pits, games, iconic trailer bar. We got that. We mentioned the Dark Sky Brewing philanthropy. The brewery is named in honor of Flagstaff being the world's first international dark sky place, often featuring beers inspired by stars and comets. They also founded the Dark Sky Community nonprofit to raise funds and awareness for various other Arizona nonprofit organizations. The Flagstaff Brewing Trail. The trail is a promotional. What was that question? What are the mechanics of the Flagstaff Brewing Trail? It's a promotional initiative that encourages visitors to explore Flagstaff's 8 craft breweries using a digital or paper passport. Participants can collect stickers at each location to eventually earn a special edition commemorative non-style Nonic-style pint glass. Look at all this we're learning about breweries. There's so many more on the list. You can check out Hometown Social. We've got let's see here. We go check out the breweries under food and drink at Hometown Hawk. You go to food and drink. You go to select the category. Here we go. Some of our features there are Cider Core. We talked about them yesterday. Papago Brewing Company, Old Ellsworth Brewing Company in Queen Creek. Of course, Santan Brewing. They're a big, well-known Arizona. Probably the same ones featured here at Hometown Social. Homer visited Santan Brewing Company last weekend. If you ever see Homer out driving, I'll see if I can't pull up our Instagram here. That's Papago. Old Ellsworth in Queen Creek. It's our backyard. Here's Cider Core in Mesa. Let's see here. If only there was a way. Hey, it says we're live. That's Homer in front of. That's the Santan Brewing Company. That's downtown Chandler. He gets a little excited sometimes. You ever see Homer, give him a honk. He's out gathering images for all of our websites at worldofarizona.com. There's always need for gallery images, articles. It's very cultural driven, lifestyle driven, worldofarizona.com. And of course, Hometown Hawk, Hometown Bricks, Yellow Brick Drive. That's the real estate related if you're in the market for a new home. It's a locally driven real estate search. Very neighborhood driven. Last weekend we were out in the West Valley in Avondale, and we were in Goodyear. Trying to figure out where I even put those pictures. This was this is also in Chandler. This is behind the San Marcos Hotel in the parking lot. This is in front of the original Chop Shop. Also, these are all downtown Chandler. Original Chop Shop says hi. Yeah, we were in Goodyear. I'd never been there. In Old Town Goodyear. And Avondale, I think those are they're right on the border there. It's where we spent some time. Let's see, we got I can't remember. Maybe I put them on TikTok. World of Arizona we did not have Goodyear or Avondale built out. World of Arizona is built around cities and towns and areas. So when you go there, you click on the location at the top. Every town has its own collection of pages tied to it. It's very article driven, like I said, but photo galleries and just a whole bunch of information about the town, neighborhoods. Of course, TikTok doesn't work. It's not a surprise. Yeah, it's a bust. What else we got? You can try Facebook. Yeah, a lot of the same stuff. I was looking for more of the photos we took from Goodyear, and I believe most of those are on TikTok, which, I don't know, maybe they didn't pay their bills. There it is. Of course, something went wrong. Yes, it did. There we go. Yeah, that's Sonny's Old Town in Goodyear. Which is right next to Avondale. Yeah, I spent the afternoon down there between those two. We went out to the Phoenix Raceway Tried to go up to the Monument Hill. Denied. A lot of growth out there. We noticed there was just a lot of building, and I think that Avondale and Goodyear is going to look very different in 10 years. Less than that, but certainly in 10 years, probably in 3 years, it'll look very different just from what we were seeing. So lots of stuff going on in the West for sure. Lots of growing. There's going to be growing pains, I imagine. But yeah. This is the Hometown Arizona Daily Show. We're here Monday through Friday at noon. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm heading over to TikTok next. Keep talking about Arizona locally owned breweries. And tomorrow, I think we're going to dive into the music scene a little bit as we move through really the directories here. If you look at Hometown Hawk at the top there's food and drink is where we're at today. The places are more of just general places with physical address, very brick and mortar based. And then you see music. But the people and brands, it's between people and brands and music. I feel like I'm leaning into the music. We can talk about venues, places that support live music, some popular and well-known Arizona-based bands maybe people aren't aware of. And then keep going and looking at the lesser-known, the smaller local scene. What's it like touring around Arizona or maybe the Phoenix Valley? I wonder if these working bands, do they travel throughout the state? I imagine they do. Includes karaoke DJs. I would imagine a Flagstaff in Tucson probably supports all of that, and Quick Enough Drive, really, if you're in the southeast valley of Phoenix, going to Tucson isn't much different than going to the West Valley. So we'll probably take a look at that tomorrow. Haven't decided 100% sure, but if you're tune in to see, there'll either be people and brands. Maybe we'll pick something in that. I'm not sure. Amber had mentioned she thought that pizza would be good. Probably push pizza to next week. It is a good one. That's huge. People and brand categories, there's so much to choose from. Let's see if I can't get a guest lined up. Maybe for music too. We'll see. So we're just going to probably plan on music tomorrow starting at noon, 1 o'clock over on TikTok. And we'll go from there. Thanks for stopping in, hanging out with Arizona Hometown, the Hometown Arizona Daily Live Show, Monday through Friday at noon. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey guys, so Cooper has left the facilities, and I guess this means the show's over? So if you could just start moving your hand in the upward swiping motion, that would be great. Or maybe you're more of the mouse type. I know I love me a good mouse. They're just so crunchy. Okay, focus. Yeah, so if you've got a mouse, could you please just start moving your hand over the mouse device thingy and guiding it towards the close button at the top? That would also be great. Come on, folks. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So you're not moving. I'll disconnect. I swear to God I will. Fine then.